Happy Thursday. I'm here with a tech tip to help students. I wanted to show you a few tips and tricks that I have found in Apex over the years. And some of you might have some tips and tricks I don't know, so feel free to share those with me. But one of the key things that I always show students when they first start is how to get to the resources. So through the outline, you can go to resources here. If you're in the course, the resources looks like a little briefcase. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the briefcase. And I always tell students when they first start, let's grab those key terms. So here are the key terms for this class. And I tell them to click on that print and to save them as a PDF. And then if they're on a Chromebook, it's really easy because they can save these directly to their Google Drive. So their Google Drive will come up as one of the options to save to. And I tell them, to save it as your course. And then you can save it in your Google Drive and come back to it, okay? So when a student opens those key terms, they're gonna look like this in their Google Drive, which is a PDF, which is fine, and you can do lots of things with a PDF. I like to teach students to open this with a Google Doc, and the nice thing about that is that then they can use the search and find for docs, which I find a little bit better than the search and find for Chrome. I just like the way it works better. It's really not any different. So to do that, you go to edit and you do find and replace. So let's say a student had a question about what rhetoric was. I could search for rhetoric and find it, okay? So it's right there, okay? So this is one of the things that I tell students to do. Another thing that I tell students to do, and I'm going to go ahead and navigate into a study. So I'm going to go to a specific study. Is I tell them to make sure that they're taking notes within the Apex unit, okay? So yes, one of the very annoying things is that you cannot have this open while you do your quiz, right? But you can totally have a Google Doc open while you do your quiz. So I tell students to make a brand new blank Google Doc, and then while they're going through the study, to grab some stuff and put it in that Google Doc. So for example, in this unit, or in this section, the student is learning about rhetoric, okay? And one of the things about rhetoric is you have logos, ethos, and pathos, and this graphic really represents them well. And I can totally copy this image and come up here and use Ctrl V to paste it up here. So I can have images up here. In addition to the image, I'm a very visual learner, so the image would totally help me. I can also drag text up, okay? So one of the things that I think is really important, and I always tell students to look at, is to look at these examples of rhetoric, right? So it doesn't matter what you type here, it's gonna give you the right answer, okay? This is ethos. So I'm gonna grab this and I can just drag it and drop it right here. And now I have that example and it explains to me why this is ethos, right? So what type of rhetoric is this? And this tells me, okay? And I would tell students to go through all these examples. Now you need to kind of get to know your course to know which are the places where the answers are, right? But this is definitely a place where if they have these three examples, it's really going to help them with the quiz, because the quiz is all about identifying rhetoric within this speech. So, and I teach students, hey, if you don't know the answer, you don't have to type the answer. You can just type whatever, and it's going to give you the answer. Maybe it's a good idea to try. See if you can identify the rhetoric, right? But now I have all of this here, and when I'm doing my quiz, I can totally come here and search through this, right? Okay, last tip has to do with reading materials. So this quiz has reading materials too, right? So they actually already read this part in the previous section, and now this is sort of like an application of rhetoric. A lot of times that happens in English. So I have this, and again, I can do the same thing with this. I tell students to take and print this out and save it to their drive, Or if it's a reading material, it comes up as a pop-up. So this can stay up while I do the quiz. So I can leave this here and I can go to my quiz and have my quiz open and have the reading material open, right? So I have this open, I have my reading material open, right? By the way, you will notice that the first question is from one of these right here, the first thing that I highlighted and put in. Maybe that's because I've done this 10,000 times. But here we have the question, here we have the reading materials, here we have the stuff I dragged into the doc, and here I have all the key terms. Yes, this is a lot of windows to have open, but also it's a lot of information. Nothing annoys me more than when a student is searching for a key term in Google, because you have a very limited and very specific that's going to give you the exactly right answer where you don't have to figure anything out for those key terms. So I always make sure they have the key terms, the notes. We're working on, convincing them that they should do the notes. Reading material is usually not a problem. Oh, and remember, in the reading material, and I always assume that every teacher knows this, but just so you remember, in the reading material, you can do the find. If you can't remember the keystroke, it is Ctrl F. I usually use the keystroke, but I do like to show students that you can go get it here. So you click on the three dots and you do find, and I could do Romans, because, the classic friends, countrymen, and lovers hear me. Okay, I hope these tips will help you to help students. Have a great day.